Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight I'm going to be talking about Robert Kraft, the Patriots owner, who looks like he's going to be getting off on these charges of solicitation and this prostitution ring that he was caught up in. I did not cover this story on my channel, so for those of you who are not familiar with what's going on, he owns the Patriots, the football team, and in January he entered into this spa where he was filmed like entering into the spa and receiving a sexual act by a prostitute in exchange for money. And, he got charges for it. He went and he then in February pled not guilty. And now it looks like he has received a plea deal where it would ultimately dismiss the solicitation and prostitution charges, where your boy is going to be, he gonna be good to go. I want to know what y'all think about that. Is this some type of privilege? But before you give me your thoughts on it, let me actually read what USA Today is saying in regards to this whole situation. So let me pull up the article and bring you guys up to speed so we could all be brought up to speed together. So on USA Today, it says, Patriots owner Robert Kraft, others offered deal in prostitution solicitation case. And then if you go up, it says first-time offenders who were charged with misdemeanors. It's crazy. Like, you could file a false police report and you get 16 counts of 16 felonies. But if you solicit a prostitute, you get a misdemeanor. It's kind of crazy. I don't know about that, but it seems a little crazy. And he was facing up to a year in jail, but Jesse faces 64 years. It's crazy. Anyways, let me finish reading it. Getting off subject, but it just seems a little crazy. Anyway, so first-time offenders who were charged with misdemeanors as part of a prostitution solicitation ring in Florida last month, which would include New England's Patriots owner Robert Kraft, have been offered pre-trial diversion deals that would ultimately lead to the dismissal of the solicitation charges, a spokesman for the prosecutor's office said on Tuesday. The agreement proposed by the prosecutors mandates the men review the evidence and admit they would be found guilty if the case went to trial. The Wall Street Journal was the first media outlet to report the offer. All defendants in that investigation have been charged with misdemeanors, received a comparable plea offer, says Michael Edmondson, state's attorney spokesman. So I guess all they have to do is admit that if they took it to trial, they would have been guilty. But since they're not taking it to trial, then they're okay and that the charges are going to get dismissed. I don't know. Let me read further to get a little more clarification. Kraft, 77, was charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of soliciting prostitution linked to visits to the Orchids of Asia Day Spa in Jupiter, Florida last month. Orchids of Asia was one of the spas under surveillance as part of multi-jurisdiction prostitution ring investigation. He pleaded not guilty earlier this month and asked for a bench trial in the case. The Patriots said in a statement that they categorically deny that Mr. Kraft engaged in any illegal activity. There is no indication whether Kraft would take such an offer. Messages left with Kraft's attorney by USA Today Sports were not immediately returned on Tuesday. Edmondson said generally, there is a requirement for either an admission of guilt or an acknowledgement that the state could prevail at trial for the pretrial diversion to go forward. Okay, and then it says former U.S. attorney told USA Today that could be a deal breaker for a number of people. So them admitting that, they had some type of guilt to get this little diversion, dismissal, whatever the heck this is. It says, for Kraft, it will give the NFL leverage in his punishment for violating the personal conduct policy, says Weinstein. Okay, so then it also says, even if the charges were ultimately dropped, Kraft could still face discipline under the NFL's personal conduct policy. The policy does not require a conviction or even charges for an individual to be sanctioned by the league. I mean, do y'all really think he worried about getting sanctioned, a little bitty fine? He is the owner of the Patriots. So you see the salaries of the football players. He is the actual owner. And so do you think that he is worried about a little sanction that they might propose? I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think, because it sounds crazy to me. But yeah, that's enough of that. If you guys want to pause the screen and read the rest, you guys can do so. But what do you guys think as far as the charges being ultimately dismissed? But I guess the clause in this is for him to admit that if he would have went to trial, then it would have, he would have been found guilty, et cetera, et cetera. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about how he was charged with soliciting a prostitute and it was considered a misdemeanor, but yet Jussie Smollett was indicted for filing a false police report, and those fell under a felony. And those racked up charges that he could be facing up to 64 years in prison, versus this prostitution ring where he was only looking at a year in jail. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's talk about it right now. Is that like the dealings of a good attorney, or is that privilege of some sort? Let me know what you think right now. All right, guys. Peace.